Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and it is a great day when I see this longtime superintendent friend of mine across the way in the studio, and that's Dr. Luis Ibarra, superintendent of the Escondido Union School District. Always good to see you, Luis.
Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. And I think we were just chatting right before the show that I think Luis has the record of being in the most studios we've done, from the Union Tribune to Miramar to Escondido, now these beautiful studios at Mission Fed studio here in Scripps Ranch. And that means joining me is my frequent co-host, Neville Villamoria, Senior VP of Marketing and Community Relations. And when Neville knows one of our cool guests, which is pretty much every single show, he gets to join me, and always thrilled to have you as a co-host.
Thanks for allowing me to play again, Drew.
Absolutely. Anytime you want in that aspect of it. So, Luis, real quickly, just talk a little bit about the district, your award-winning district, by the way.
Yes. Well, we're Escondido Union School District. We're TK through 8th grade, got 26 schools, about 15,000 students.
And you've been there how long?
I just completed my 9th year.
My goodness, 9th year. And where were you before?
I was in Oceanside Unified.
Okay. Assistant soup or?
Assistant soup.
Right.
I had the pleasure of doing assistant soup of business and HR.
So did you work with my good buddy, Larry Perandi?
Absolutely.
I know it. So I got a chance to work with Larry when he was down in Sweetwater. And I think I mentioned this to you before. Neville, you might not even know this. I was honored to be the chair of the Sweetwater Education Foundation when Ed was there. And so Perandi was there, and Barry Dragon was there, and Ernie Anestos was there, all the folks that you know very well.
I know them very well.
I know you do, absolutely, on this. So let me start right off at, what is TK for our listeners that have never heard that term before?
Well, TK is Transitional Kindergarten. So it's a new grade level that was created by the state. It's somewhere between preschool and kindergarten. So it's really another year that families can have for their students.
Right. Is it an age? Do you have to be a certain age? How does that work? Or it really depends when your birthday falls?
It's really for 4-year-olds who will turn 5 before, for us, it's before June 2nd.
Right, exactly. And how did this boost enrollment for your district? Were there a lot of folks that fell into that age group?
There are quite a few folks. I mean, it really helped stem the tide of declining enrollment for us.
Right.
So we have a lot of families that are taking advantage of it, and also many new families that are still trying to get the word of, like, what is transitional kindergarten?
Right, exactly. So for guys my age that are very old, there was barely running water when I was in school over here. So I'll talk to Neville, as you well know, good friends of yours, of course, and
yes.
It's just in his DNA is many, many things, and one of them is education. What do you think about that? Because I know your kids are a little bit older, like mine. There was no TK, correct?
That's right. But a guy named James Heckman got a Nobel Prize for the Heckman curve when he realized that if the importance of early childhood, and if you can invest in those early days, then there's no achievement gap to close. So TK is one of those theories of change, which I think is super helpful to ensure and equip all young people while their brains are just exploding and they're learning so quickly, and the number of neurons they're generating every second is some ridiculous number, is an opportunity for young people to really get that head start.
Yeah. No, I think that you're absolutely right, Neville. It's when you walk into our classrooms, and especially for TK, it's a full day experience for our families. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, our 4-year-olds, how can they do this? But it's full of fun and play. It's developmentally appropriate. So the students learn just all the other skills that they're going to need for greater success. You know, they're learning how to share. They're learning how to modulate their emotions, because several times, unless you grow up in a very large family, you're not exposed to a lot of other students. And so this is a great opportunity for our families.
So, or did you have to hire new teachers, or did you use kindergarten teachers and they had to learn sort of a new way of dealing with younger kids than the traditional kindergarten student? How did that work?
It's a combination of both. You
Yeah.
have there has to be an expertise in early childhood education.
That's right.
And you can obtain that through various ways. So we did have a number of teachers that had that certification and others that had it through experience. And then, of course, we hired new teachers as well.
Right. So since TK has become on board, so to speak, are there empirical results that saying, boy, because my student went through TK, this person was, my kid was more able to handle kindergarten, first, second grade, so forth?
Yeah. Right now, we're going to start tracking that
Okay.
data.
Yeah.
But right now, just telling you, walking through the classrooms from day one to the last day of school, you see this amazing transformation of little kids just learning to be little students. And it's just fun to watch. The kids are singing the alphabet. They know their ABCs. They're learning how to write their name. All those little prerequisite skills to reading, writing, and math. Learning how to count to 100. And it's just, they really are getting a big head start into education.
You brought up something that I've talked about incessantly, and I know Neville's heard me say it because he's been on the show a million times, and that is, this is fun. Heaven forbid education has to be equated with fun. Are you kidding me? That's the only way you learn anyway in anything in life for that. We've known this since people were walking upright in this aspect of Neville. Talk about how cool that is in that experience.
I guess I'm name dropping today, but instead of the Heckman curve, Einstein said, play is children's work.
Right.
And if you really want to study hot cognition, which is not just cerebral effort, but how we can actually deeply, our whole brain lights up when we're involved in play. And that's not just true for young people, it's true for all of us. Unfortunately, our archaic academic systems wanted to make it very rigorous and stern, and we'd get caned if we messed up. It was a very disciplinary frame. I think a modern educational framework, a learner-centered framework, is more attentive to the developmental appropriateness and then making it fun. So why wouldn't we have fun? I mean, if we play, it's joy. It's not a big hassle.
Well, listen, there's empirical evidence that have said, when the kids are motivated, when adults are motivated, when anybody is motivated to do something, and they raise the bar on what they're doing, whatever it is, building motorcycles, becoming journalists, podcasters, superintendents. We've known this for 4 billion years. And now, thanks to folks like Luis, superintendents running these districts, this is how we're going to learn on this. It's one of the things I've always loved chatting with you about. It's student-centric. What's important to the student, heaven forbid, not necessarily what's important to the adult. It's what's important to the student, correct?
Correct. It's about what we're talking about is engagement.
Exactly.
And when we're all highly engaged, we're highly motivated.
Exactly.
And if you're laughing, even at work, you have a whole lot more productivity.
Well, productivity, collaboration, and everything that goes with it. We are chatting with the award-winning superintendent, Dr. Luis Ibarra of the Escondido Union School District, joined by my colleague, Neville Villamoria, the inimitable Neville Villamoria. He's the Senior VP of Marketing Community Relations for a Mission-Fed Credit Union, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, now the longest running community podcast. We're in our 17th year, Luis, and Neville knows this as well, in these beautiful studios in Mission-Fed. I would be remiss if we didn't give a high five to Susie Villegas, one of the top PR mavens in San Diego, and just honor because Susie brings some very cool folks on our Spotlight show, including our good friend Luis on this. So we talk a little bit about the importance of TK. We sort of mentioned it a little bit, but they are now ready. They get a head start when they hit to kindergarten. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. I mean, when you're looking, even doing it through play, when you're learning your ABCs, learning, and you do it through music, you're learning how to color, you're learning art, you're doing all these wonderful activities. You're also just learning what school is all about. our TK students are already going to know where the cafeteria is, where the restrooms are. All those little nuances that occupy, I think a lot of the adults were worried about,
right?
How are they going to do this? And we were just joking about this, when I was wrapping up the year with our administrators. We said, remember this time last year? We're like, how are we going to get the TK students to the playground? how are they going to eat breakfast? How are they going to eat lunch? And we laughed because the kids have done it beautifully.
And that's sort of, we've known this probably for a long, long time, is that whenever we we know better than this, underestimate the kids,
Correct.
We are always proven wrong. I go, listen, this is going to be the 85th time I underestimated the kids. When am I going to learn not to underestimate the kids? Correct, Neville?
Underestimated, and even those furthest from opportunity. I think those are the areas that we really turn the volume up on.
Yeah.
And self-regulation. I mean, if at that early age you're starting to get just the fundamentals of self-regulation, think about the long-term benefits of that for you, as opposed to being impulsive like I am many moons later.
That's what makes you great at what you do, Neville, is the impulsiveness of this aspect of it. But I want to bring up something that Luis had noted, of course, the importance of TK. There's many things that we can chat about on this. Neville, I'll have you chat about it first, and we'll go over to Luis on this, and that's building confidence. And we all know that is such a driver, whether it's when you're 4, or whether you're 24, or whether you're 104. Talk about how important that is, Neville.
So I joke, I'm a C student. Character, competence, and confidence. And confidence is all about self-esteem and self-efficacy, right? So the belief that we can foster in young people that I can do that I'm capable, I'm worthy, I matter. It's okay to have my voice and be heard, and even if it's not the same as everybody else, whatever the others are articulating. So I think confidence is a huge builder of meta competencies. And then you can get into subject matter experts and talents and passions and strengths. But fundamentally, if we don't have that underlying sense of, I can do this, a lot of opportunities just don't get taken. And so our ability to foster confidence as a prelude to competence, I think, is a really, really important consideration.
Yeah, why don't you elaborate on that, Luis?
No, I agree with Neville. It's when you look at the confidence of our students, they're acquiring it through a variety of means from our outstanding teachers and classified employees, because we're challenging our students. We're also setting the bar really high, but we're also giving them a lot of choice. When you're looking at early childhood education, it's about giving students a variety of choices so that they can experience their, look at what they're passionate about. You see them in the playhouse, and you can quickly change it into a firehouse. And then they're learning how to do all this. Dramatic play is just a huge window into the world of possibilities. And I think that's what we're trying to do is with all of our students, K through 8th, is what are the possibilities?
And those students that are in TK now, and when they get into kindergarten through 8th, then to high school, and then community college or 4-year school or whatever it is, they're going to remember that experience in your school district. I enjoyed school. And I always tell my daughter this. I had a conversation with her teachers once, and I said to her, she was in the Poway Unified School District, and I said, I only care about 3 things. I want her to treat you with respect, the teacher. I want her to treat her classmates with respect. And with that, absolutely as important, I never want her to not stop loving to learn. Right. I said, simple as that. I don't care what she does. She can make up a job. I want her to never, because that's going to be with her the rest of the life. And we all know those colleagues that you work with, your superintendent colleagues, your administrators, your teachers, Neville, your colleagues at Mission Fed. You can tell the ones that just are sponges. They can't wait to learn something else, and I think that's critical. We come back from break. We're going to chat more with the 2023 Superintendent of the Year by the Association of California School Administrators. That's Dr. Luis Ibarra. We're going to talk about this very cool $16 million gift he got. We'll mention that and who that is. So you got a little bit of a teaser here. You're going to have to wait to that, and how important that will be to really greasing the skids for so many great things when we return to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, the longest running community podcast in the nation, now in our 17th year, as we are at this beautiful Mission Fed studio in Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed has been doing wonderful work for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We'll be right back with Dr. Luis Ibarra, Superintendent of the Escondido Union School District, and my longtime colleague at Mission Fed, Credit Union Neville Villamoria. We'll be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you. But something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, is wonderful Mission Fed studios. We are back with Dr. Luis Ibarra, Superintendent of the Escondido Union School District, and my colleague Neville Villamoria, Senior VP of Marketing and Community Relations for Mission Fed Credit Union. And so we were sort of teasing the audience, Luis, about the $16 million gift you got. Who gave that to you? And it wasn't Neville, was it?
No, it wasn't Neville. Although we're waiting.
You'll be waiting a long time, brother.
No, we were honored to receive a $16 million donation by the Mackenzie Scott Foundation earlier in the year.
Right. And Mackenzie Scott, if you don't know, she's married to that publisher of the Washington Post, correct? Or was married to that publisher of the Washington Post, correct?
Actually, Bezos.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. So what does that mean? 16 million. I know what it means from a monetary standpoint. What does that mean for you folks to dream?
That's exactly what it meant for us. I pulled together a big stakeholder group looking at what do we want to do? Not what do we want to do with the money, is what do we want to do for our kids? This is an awesome opportunity. And we've been engaged in this process with our partners from Learner-Centered Collaborative. We're looking at becoming student-centered, learner-centered. And so all the talk about TK is right in the middle of what we are talking about. We've completed our learner profiles. We've defined what are the outcomes that we want for our kids. We've identified a learner model that we're going to now start unveiling and unrolling out. So we're talking about choices for kids. We're talking about making learning authentic, making learning just come alive, focus on engagement. And that's what we're going to do. We haven't even talked about how we're going to spend the money, because now it's going to, we know it's going to reveal itself. We're going to have groups of, it's coming together, but what the money allowed us to do is to dream and dream big of what we want our kids to learn. Whether it's labs, studios like this, all of that continues to be a possibility, but we continue to be focused on the outcomes for our students and the learning experiences. When we talk about what we remember from school, I think we will all have wonderful memories when we were working on a project, when we were fully engaged and did something very authentic and meaningful. And we don't want to have to look far and wide for our kids to remember it maybe in 3rd grade or 8th grade, is let's make these experiences, powerful experience happen very frequently, and that's what we're looking at.
You know, especially throughout their TK 8th grade career at Escondido Union School District as well. I'm guardedly optimistic that work and businesses will understand how important worker-centered collaboration is as well. And those businesses that thrive do that. No different than what you're talking about with learner-centered, right? They focus on that. But getting back to you, Neville, I know you're just laser beamed on this. I know you're all in on this learner-centered collaborative.
Well, we've talked about this in the past too, right? Historically, it was the educational system was all about teaching, and they thought, as long as I teach, I've done my job. Then they realized, no, it's actually about learning, and it's not how you deliver it; it's what the uptake from the student. And ultimately, it's now pivoting to this learner-centered, where relevance. If you ask kids what matters most, it wants to be relevant. So our ability to tie conceptual ideas to practical outcomes and make them good corporate, in good civic leaders with confidence, as we've discussed, building self-esteem and capacity. That's what's going to help our future. And so Mackenzie Scott, the third richest woman on the planet after her divorce with Bezos, is giving away all the money. And she was inspired by what Escondido Union School District under Luis's leadership were doing and are funding that mission. And I think that should be a signal that education that we know has been in need of an intervention is well on its way. Thank you very much. And there's positive deviants like Escondido Union School District, which I'm privileged to spend time with, that are actually behaving into this future.
You know, that is a spot on for 75 different reasons on this. And again, remember when I found out that Luis, got this grant so well deserved for so many reasons as well. We're thrilled with you because Classroom of the Future Foundation, which I'm honored to be on, is a huge fan of Luis, and I know you've been very supportive of Classroom of the Future, and we very much appreciate that as well. We're going to be shoulder to shoulder with you for as long as you want us to be shoulder to shoulder with you, and so forth on this aspect of it. Talk a little bit about the expanded learning program and how that can tie into after-school activities.
Oh, well, absolutely. The expanded learning program for us has just, again, opened those doors for creativity and imagination. And so we had every district in the state of California received ELOP dollars. Those are Expanded Learning Opportunity Program dollars, specifically for after-school programming intercession. And so what we did was we built on what we were already doing. Working with our local partners, we continue to look at, okay, what is the need in the community? What do our kids need? And after-school child care is very important, so we offer child care free of charge to all of our families. I believe this year we will have met our goal to eliminate the waiting list that we've had.
Wow.
Second part of this was also looking at expanded opportunities enrichment programs. So again, worked with our local partners and worked with our teachers. We challenged our teachers to, what do you want to teach? Like, what is your passion? And we had an explosion of opportunities for our kids. We had, at one point, over 200 opportunities throughout our districts where, some as creative as roller skating, culinary arts. Teachers wanted to do the things that they've just always wanted to do. And we matched passion of the adult with the passion for the kids. And it has been wonderful. I've had more teachers than ever before participate in the after-school program.
So what are you going to do now, Luis? And I know Neville would agree with me. When the word gets out about this unbelievable superintendent that's running this phenomenal district that's focused on the learner, focused on what the teacher wants to do, when you have 100,000 students that want to transfer to the Escondido Union School District, and now you've got 100,000 more students, which means you got to hire another, divide that by 25 new teachers. So now you got about 600 teachers. I'm teasing a little bit on this thing. It's a good headache to have. I mean, what parent wouldn't want to be part of this school district?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, as you should agree on that. I think that's great. Again,
we've had quite a positive feedback from our families. I engage frequently with when we have a PTA council. It's very active. I mean, parent involvement is very strong in our district, and it's wonderful to talk to the families because they were. I was mentioning the after-school opportunities, right. And many in the room were saying, "Oh yeah, my kid is doing dance there. My kid's doing hip hop at this school. My kid couldn't get into there because it was so, in this program." It's like, well, we'll have that offered again. So.
Yes, Neville.
So I think the other thing to attend to is we're really focused on the whole child. And we know that a lot of learning goes on in the classroom, but how about the co-curricular stuff? So this attention to the whole child, and not just the experience of spending in a physical classroom, but creating experience with them. That's a really powerful transformative opportunity.
Yeah, without question. And again, you heard me say this a million times, Neville, on this, whether it's education, whether it's working with groups like Alzheimer's Association, which Mission Fed's very close to, and so forth. It's not just that student that's going to benefit from that experience. It's that student's sibling, it's that student's parent, it's that student's aunt and uncle. And you've now just extended, that experience, not just that one student that's in your district, but everyone that's associated. Is that correct?
That is correct. No, it's the whole community is just, now part of school. And that's what's phenomenal about this.
Right. So what can our Spotlight on the Community listeners and our friends at Classroom of the Future Foundation do to continue to support your great efforts? What can we do?
If you wanted to learn more information, all our information is on the website. There's a page for if you want to register for our schools. We're sending all of our sixth graders to giving them an opportunity to go to spring camp. Last year, we got them in and they went over winter break. We're going to do it in the spring this time. I mean, there's just a wealth of opportunities in our district. And so if families want to learn more, go to our website, www.eusd.org, and learn more. And just keep following us.
It's always a great day when you're in the studio, Luis. We're big fans of yours in many different ways in this. I know when we gin up our Future Pathways Superintendents Unplugged series again in the fall, we had 25 of your colleagues on. Thank you for coming on. We're going to be ginning that up again when we do that in September, so we'll look forward to that. And you are always welcome anytime on the Spotlight Show as well. Bring on a colleague of yours, bring on a parent. We'd love to have parent voices too. Be thinking about it as well, is that this is what it's meant for my TK kid or whatever the case may be. And if a TK kid wants to come on, we have a lot of kids on the show here as well. So keep that in mind. I know Susie's listening to this very well, Susie Villegas, and we'll probably try to tee this up as well. Luis, always an honor to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Neville, always you accelerate and you certainly lift up the Spotlight Show. Thanks for giving away some of your valuable time on Fridays to do that.
It's my honor. Thank you. And congrats again, Luis.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, having the honor to chat with the award-winning Dr. Luis Ibarra, Superintendent of the Escondido Union School District, my good friend Neville Billa Moria of Mission Fed. Mission Fed been doing wonderful things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.